The glorious Obi-Wan trailer is finally with us. Well, in fact, it wasn't a full trailer, it was a teaser trailer, so I'm excited to wait for the full trailer. That's going to be another tidbit that we're going to cover on this channel, but the teaser trailer showed a lot. And it finally confirmed the main villain, which we all expected to be, which is the Grand Inquisitor. He looks completely different. He has a different voice, although the mannerisms are all there. If you want extensive coverage on the Obi-Wan trailer and to understand everything that's happening in this trailer, including secret cameos, then you better subscribe because we're going to cover everything. I'm going to try my best. And starting with today, many missed what the Vader breath meant at the end and how it all connects to Qui Gon Jinn. There's been speculation for months now that Qui Gon Jinn will return in the Obi-Wan Kenobi series, and this will play a huge role in between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader's rematch that Kathleen Kennedy herself confirmed that it is happening. Honestly, Qui Gon Jinn, ever since I saw him in The Phantom Menace when I was a little teeny tiny kid, I loved Liam Neeson as an actor, but The Phantom Menace elevated him to a much higher level. It is unfortunate that we got only one film with Qui Gon Jinn since he died at the hands of Darth Maul, although time has proven that Liam Neeson will return when the time is right. He did return in the Clone Wars series. That cameo still plays in my head all the time. I love seeing Qui Gon Jinn talking to an adult Anakin Skywalker. And now, more than 20 years later, it is all but confirmed that Qui Gon will return in the series in 2022. Back in the day, the rumors were that Ewan McGregor was returning for an Obi-Wan Kenobi movie. This was back when there were a lot of rumbles that since the Han Solo movie was made, now a lot of movies would be greenlit, standalone Star Wars movies like Boba Fett and Obi-Wan Kenobi. We see that as time passed, Lucasfilm decided to go the different route, making these projects into series. The Boba Fett series just finished, and now the Kenobi series is bringing everything full circle. There is a gap between episode 3 and episode 4 that shows us there is more to the duel in A New Hope than we previously thought. There are a lot of lines that Darth Vader says in that movie that were not really clear, since everybody who saw Revenge of the Sith was baffled at some of Darth Vader's lines when he first sees old Ben Kenobi. Even the line in Return of the Jedi, when Darth Vader says to Luke, "Obi-Wan once thought as you did," still doesn't make a lot of sense if we just watch the movies. Well, it is now clear that Qui Gon Jinn will be the main reason why Obi-Wan actually thought that Darth Vader could be redeemed, was convinced by someone that he has still good in him. This will lead to the Obi-Wan Darth Vader upcoming battle or rematch, since Lucasfilm itself said that this will be the rematch of the century. However, specifics regarding this battle still remain unknown. We only have this piece of concept art to go by. The trailer basically showed the crumbling of the Jedi Order and the scattering of much of the Jedi after Order 66, and since the Galactic Empire was formed. It forced the surviving Jedi to hide for their safety. Of course, the Sith, the Empire, now the Inquisitors, are just biding their time, knowing that the Jedi cannot help but reveal themselves through their compassion. What many wonder, though, is what kind of circumstances will get Obi-Wan to face Darth Vader once more. For a long time, a lot of us thought that after Episode 3, Obi-Wan did not meet with Vader or did not fight Vader during that time span when Luke grew up. In A New Hope, this was the first time they were meeting each other after their duel in Revenge of the Sith. However, the involvement of Qui Gon Jinn, the reporting that Liam Neeson is involved with this project, explains perfectly how Obi-Wan was convinced to go after Darth Vader, or more specifically, Anakin Skywalker, the man behind the mask. We know that Qui-Gon was the one who discovered the ability to live after death, to basically become a Force ghost. In the Clone Wars series, Qui-Gon as a disembodied voice would talk to Master Yoda. In fact, it was Qui-Gon who showed Yoda the planet of Dagobah. The Clone Wars series explains how Yoda came to the decision to live out the rest of his days on Dagobah. And it was none other than Qui Gon Jinn who convinced Yoda to take these steps. It isn't out of the realm of possibility that Qui-Gon, since he convinced Yoda, he could convince Obi-Wan, his former apprentice, of much more bigger things. In the comics, it is not even speculated. It is confirmed that Qui-Gon talked to Obi-Wan Kenobi. Here is an excerpt where Obi-Wan is living out the remainder of his days on Tatooine, and he clearly is talking to Qui-Gon, telling him that he was eating snake soup straight for a year. But to go more in depth, let's take a step back out of Yoda and Obi-Wan. Let's talk about Anakin Skywalker, the ultimate villain that will finally appear in the Obi-Wan series. You see, Qui-Gon was the one who had tremendous faith in Anakin Skywalker. He went against the Jedi Order in order to implement him as an apprentice. Undoubtedly, Qui-Gon still thinks that there is good in Anakin, and ultimately he could be turned back into the light. This is exactly what I think he will convince Obi-Wan in the series. To not lose faith, to go back to Anakin and convince him of his wrongdoings, and in the end abandon his evil ways. Effectively, this would explain the mystery of how Obi-Wan and Darth Vader will have another rematch. The trailer even shows us a broken down and faithless Obi-Wan. The first words out of Obi-Wan's mouth in the trailer is that he has to accept that they lost. He has basically abandoned all hope. This is a clear symbolism of, after this scene, he watches on as Luke Skywalker is growing up, a kid Luke Skywalker that shows even though he is hopeless, there is a teeny tiny light of hope in that kid. In the end, when he grows up, he will bring the Jedi to their prominence. What's more, we know that this series will show the penance of Obi-Wan, feeling the responsibility of not only letting Anakin down, but letting his master, Qui Gon Jinn, down. This is what they will probably talk about. Obi-Wan will feel guilty and will feel that he disappointed Qui-Gon. However, Qui-Gon will see it differently. The Force takes many paths, and this might be the ultimate path of bringing back Anakin. This might be where the journey starts. When Obi-Wan and Vader duel once more, it will be purely out of compassion. It will be purely out of love that Obi-Wan still feels towards Anakin, and that his master has convinced him to not sit idly by, but reach out to Darth Vader once more. Sadly, we all know how this duel will end. Both of them will survive, however, it will not yield the result that Qui-Gon and Obi-Wan want, because as we know, by episode 4, 5, and 6, Darth Vader is still Darth Vader. He is still a Sith Lord. But once more, I go back to the line I said in the beginning. In Return of the Jedi, Darth Vader says to Luke, "Obi-Wan once thought as you did," while Luke thinks that there is still good in his father and that he has basically given himself up to the Empire and to Darth Vader, going to the extent of handing over his lightsaber, being in handcuffs, just to show his father that he will fight to bring him back. Same as Luke Skywalker did in Return of the Jedi, I think a similar thing will happen with Obi-Wan in this series. Obi-Wan will lay in front of Vader, trying to convince him that this is not him, that he loves him like a brother, and that he should renounce Palpatine and restore the order that he once destroyed. Even if things don't go as planned, Vader now knows that Obi-Wan once thought as Luke did, that there is still good in him and that he could be redeemed. This is why he said this to his son. It wasn't because of Revenge of the Sith, because in Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan does not even bother negotiate, talk to Anakin in the slightest. He is convinced that his apprentice has fully fallen to the dark side, and he immediately goes on attack mode with Anakin on Mustafar. They don't talk much, they immediately fight. It doesn't show us any sign that at that time in Revenge of the Sith, Obi-Wan thought that Anakin still had good in him. While in this series, he all of a sudden does. This is because of Qui Gon Jinn and him talking into his ear, convincing him that Anakin is still in there and he should be brought back. There's a lot more to be said about this trailer. I know I've talked a lot in this video because I am so freaking excited about what's to come in this series and what's to come afterwards. there's going to be a lot to talk about. Guys, let me know all your thoughts down below in the comments. Subscribe for future videos about the Obi-Wan trailer and a lot of other news surrounding Star Wars. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, leave a thumbs up down below, subscribe for dailies. Now you can have an awesome day, Star Wars fans. I'll see you in the next video, and may the Force be with you. Until then.